Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I did have a few products on my makeup collection that I kind of forgot about, or I just didn't remember why I didn't use them more. So in today's video I'm going to be doing this full face of makeup using those products. So I'm going to see what products I need to use more and what products I kind of need to push to the back of the drawer. But if you want to see what I think of these products, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I went on my makeup collection and I basically picked all of the products that I really haven't been using, and this is a little bit kind of a shop my stash thing, but I didn't want to waste your time and going through the makeup collection. So I basically picked a full face of makeup, and all these products I kind of forgot about a little bit, and I'm going to do my entire face. So I think I'm going to start with primer. And one thing I did buy a few months ago, but I just never got around to use it. It's the Van Thermal Water for sensitive skin. And this one, even though it's a thermal water only, it says it's very nice as a primer and as a setting spray. So it's one of those sprays with kind of a continuous mist. Definitely feels very, very refreshing. I'm not very sure as a setting spray, but as a primer this feels very, very nice. So I'll try it as a setting spray when I'm finished. It feels very hydrating. So just going to put my ears on and I'm going to do my brows. I'm going to use the Avon Mark brow pomade, and mine is in the shade Deep Brown. So I have used this when I tested Avon makeup, but I just haven't used it much since then. I've basically been using other brow pomade, the one from Revolution Pro, or I've just been using brow pencils. And I actually think I did enjoy this one. It's definitely a lot more pigmented than the one from Revolution Pro. I feel like this one is a lot more creamy. Yeah, I really like the way this looks. I actually remember that I did like it when I tried it, but for some reason I just never used it. Yeah, but I really like the way this one looks, so I definitely need to use this one more. Okay, now for my eyeshadow, I do have a few different things. Basically, one is a small palette that I've never actually used. One is another one that I kind of stopped using, and I also have a single eyeshadow that I wanted to try. Single eyeshadows I just don't tend to reach for. I'm definitely more of a palette person. The first one is this My Sign in Taurus by Revolution. So this is a little palette that came in a mystery bag. It's got two different brow powders that are too light for me. It's also got a brow wax. Then it has a highlighter in the center and 3 eyeshadows. I'm going to use the eyeshadows, maybe also the highlighter. But as for the brow wax and brow powders, I feel like I'll probably never reach for them. The other one is this I Heart Revolution egg. I think this one was the dragon egg, and this one has 5 eyeshadows that are 2 mattes and 3 shimmers, and it also has 2 highlighters. I think I did like the eyeshadows. The highlighters, I think they were not that good, but I think I'm going to use the eyeshadows on this one. And then for the single eyeshadow, it is this one from Freedom. This one also came in a mystery bag and I just never used it. This is in the shade Smoulder 214. And this brand was discontinued already, I think, so I'm not sure if you'll still be able to get this, but I swatched it and this one actually looked really good. So I'm going to try and do an eyeshadow look with this. And this Freedom eyeshadow is kind of a black shimmer, so I think I'm going to do a smoky eye, probably. Oh, but first I also have an eyeshadow primer. It's the Photo Focus eyeshadow primer from Wet n Wild. And I don't actually remember what I thought of this one. I've basically been using all the time my Kiko one. Comparing to that Kiko one, I feel like this one has less coverage, but it feels more tacky. Okay, so as an eyeshadow primer, it feels nice, but I usually prefer the one from Kiko because I have some veiny lids and I do like a little bit more coverage. Okay, so I think I'm going to try and start with the orange on the Taurus palette. There is some kick up on the pen, and so far I feel like it's not coming very pigmented. Okay, so this will basically be more kind of a transition color, I guess. Yeah, now that you're a little bit more zoomed in, I think you can notice that this is definitely not very pigmented. I mean, I'm building it up a little bit, but it doesn't make a lot of difference. Okay, so I think I'm going to take now the I Heart Revolution egg and I'm going to try and build a little bit of this one on my crease. So I'm taking that kind of more browny color. I'm just being kind of careful because I actually don't really remember how they applied. As for the eyeshadow primer, I feel like this one is more dry on the lids and I think I prefer the Kiko one. So that's probably why I kind of forgot about this one. And I'm also not loving how the eyeshadow is applying on top of it. I feel like the one from Kiko just never fails me. But this could also be a little bit because of the eyeshadow. I'm going to try this black. Now this one I did swatch it. It does have some gold little bits of glitter on the pen, but it doesn't show up much. So I'm going to try and use it kind of a matte black. Just try and kick away the glitter to intensify this a little bit. Yeah, the black kind of doesn't show up with that glitter. It's basically almost a matte black. I'm actually going to try and take this one on the transition because that orange really did go away. And I feel like blending it with this one will kind of give it a little bit better look. This look is kind of turning a little bit like evil vibes, but I guess I'm going with it. So now I'm going to take the kind of shimmery black on my lid, kind of making it a very smoky eye. I'm going to wet the brush using the thermal water. There's definitely fallout from this one. Okay, but I actually kind of like this shade. It's definitely not an everyday look. And I think I'm just going to take a little bit more of that black to blend now the edge of this one. I kind of really went non-afraid with the black shadow, the shimmery one. I think I'll probably use this single eyeshadow again, but not as much for the rest of the other ones. I mean, the black is enough pigmented, but as a black eyeshadow, I definitely think I have better. And I think I'll also take some of this one to blend a little bit around the edges. Okay, so I'm just going to keep these three around to later do the lower lash line. I did have an eyeliner pencil. This is the I Heart Revolution Multiliner pen. I'm just going to take a little bit of the black shade to tight line. Yeah, this one is nice. It's pigmented. I definitely need to use it a little bit more. And now I definitely need to clean up the fallout, but first I'm going to do mascara on my top lashes, and I'm going to use the Avon Mark Mega Effects. That is this really strange mascara that comes like this, and I do like the definition and volume that this one gives. I just find the packaging very, very annoying. Okay, so this is nice. Does give them a nice volume. I think you can see it better like that. It does give a nice lash, but the application is just kind of annoying. And the formula is also a little bit more wet, and I'm just blinking and getting it all over my under eye area. Let's see, good thing I did my eyes first. I think I just want to try something more with the eyeshadow. I'm taking a little bit of this one right on the center. I should have probably done this before the mascara, but just kind of want to give it a little bit of spotlight. Okay, I think it does look a little bit better like that. It's not as dark as it was. Okay, so now to do my base, I'm going to use a foundation I really haven't been using lately. This is the My Perfect Color from Primark, and mine is in the shade Sand. And this one, I don't know why I haven't been using it more. It's actually a nice foundation, but maybe because it's a little bit dark for me. It smells really nice. I feel like this one has kind of a medium coverage. Yeah, it actually says it's a medium coverage semi-matte finish. It is a little bit dark for me, but I guess I can kind of get away with the shade. I'm just going to add a little bit more. I feel like I usually prefer a little bit more of a full coverage than this. But I think it's actually looking really nice on the skin. Okay, so this does look really nice on the skin. It's not what I prefer every day, but for those days that I want more dewy and natural finish, I think this works really nice. So I definitely need to use that foundation more. And for concealer, because I knew the foundation was a little bit dark, I picked the Kiko Free Soul Concealer. That is also a little bit dark for me, but this one has a really nice coverage. So it's got an applicator that is really cold. Feels really nice. Yeah, this one has a really nice coverage, and I remember I did like it, but I just tend to use more the Revolution Conceal and Define, and I somehow managed to get concealer on the lid. Yeah, but this works really nice to cover the dark circles, which were really big. Yeah, the coverage of this one is really good. I definitely need to use it more, and I actually think this now is kind of going well with my skin tone. I don't think it is too dark. Now I'm just going to powder my eyes really quickly, but I'll show you in a second what powder I'm using. I'm not going to powder my entire face right away because I'm going to use a cream blush. I'm using the Kiko Free Soul in Coral Vibes that has two cream blushes. This one has a little bit of a sheen and this one is more matte, but they're both creams. But I think I'm going to take a blush brush, and I remember I did like more the more shimmery one. Just dabbing it a little bit with the finger is definitely a more shimmery blush. And I just tend to reach a little bit more for powders, but I actually think this one is really cute. I'm taking just a little bit of the matte one on my sponge. Yeah, I think this adds a really nice and kind of natural flush to the skin. And now I'm going to take the powder. So I think the blush is nice for the summer when you kind of don't have that much heavier makeup. The powder I'm using is the Technic Soft Focus Transparent Loose Powder, and I bought this one for Halloween because this was like €1.99 and it's a gigantic powder. But I have tried to use it like a regular powder and I quite like it. It's nice to mattify and I feel like it kind of gives a little bit of a blur to the skin. I feel like this one would also be nice for baking, but I just don't tend to do that. I feel like the skin, it leaves it very soft. So I kind of have to use this one a little bit more on my everyday makeup. And I'm going to do a little bit of contour. I have the I Heart Revolution Bronze and Glow palette that has these two shades. And the bronzer is a more cool toned bronzer, so that's why I said I'm going to do a little bit of contour if I can find a brush. And it's actually a very light color, so if you have a more pale skin tone, this will look really nice. I'm using the Jessup Face Shape brush that I think is really good for contour. But I still feel like I need a little bit of bronzer. And probably the one that I use less is my Berange makeup bronzer. This is the very important powder in the shade Soleil Dore. But I feel like I really liked the I Heart Revolution palette. I just don't use it very often because I don't usually do contour. I just use bronzer. And I'm also going to use the highlighter on this palette. The highlighter, I remember I really liked it. It's very nice. Yeah, I really like the way this looks. I definitely need to give more use to this palette. Now, I'm just going to finish my lower lash line. I think I'm going to take this one and also the black in here. But I'm gonna kind of lean forward so I don't have fallout. Just going to mix it with a little bit of this brown too, just because I feel like the lower lash line is a little bit too red. And just to finish, I think I'm going to use the highlighters on this side for my inner corner and brow bone. And I'm going to take this lighter one. Yeah, I feel like this is more on the powdery side and is not too reflective, which I would appreciate, but I guess it's not. Yeah, I feel like those didn't do much. Maybe I'll try a little bit of the dark one. Yeah, I guess they just really don't work for my skin tone, maybe, or it's because they just kind of powdery. These are more kind of like gold shades, but I feel like they're kind of flaky. Okay, so overall for eyeshadow, I'm definitely going to use the single more. This one and this one, I'll probably just keep around if I need any of this. Maybe for a video like this one, but I probably not going to use them more. Now I'm just going to use again this one on my waterline and put a little bit of the mascara. I gotta admit, this one does give some really nice lower lashes, but yeah, the formula is definitely too wet, and I think I'm going to just leave this one on my drawer, maybe let it dry out a little bit, and then I'll see if I like it more, because the formula is nice and the application is nice. It's just a little bit too wet, and I feel like for an everyday makeup, I kind of don't have the time to let it dry properly, and it's just a little bit hard to work with. As for the eyeliner, I definitely need to use it more, and it's very practical. It's got black, brown, a nude, and also a nude lip liner, so I definitely need to give more use to this one. And for my lips, I have a gloss that I still haven't used on any video because it's kind of a very out there color, and with a lip gloss I'm usually a little bit more scared to get it all over my face, especially if it's a very colorful gloss, and it's this one from Kiko. This is the 3D Hydro Gloss in the shade 13, that is a bright red. And for a lip gloss, this one is very pigmented, as you can see. Okay, so as you can see, this is a very bright and shiny red, and it can be a little bit hard to put it on and not be scared to get red all over your face because gloss hair clings to it. And I tend to not be a very coordinated person, but overall I think this gloss does look really good. I'm just a little bit clumsy to use it on an everyday makeup, but I definitely need to force myself to use this one more. So I'm just going to use a little bit more of the thermal water as a setting spray. Okay, so this is the finished look, and I think I probably wouldn't wear the lip gloss with the eyes, but I just wanted to use all of this makeup, see why I forgot about it, if I was right or maybe if I was wrong. And some of these things I definitely need to use a lot more, like the gloss, the foundation, the brow pomade, and definitely the I Heart Revolution contour and glow palette. But in some cases, like the mascara and the eyeshadow, I definitely think there's a reason I forgot about them. But yeah, I think this is a very nice way for you to remember a little bit more of some products that might be kind of hiding in the back of your drawer. So I would recommend doing something like this to give those products a little bit more love, or maybe not. But yeah, if you like this video, then don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below what makeup products you have in your collection but you kind of forgot about. And if you haven't already, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel for new videos every Monday and Thursday. There's a button down below for that. And on my next video, I think I'm going to have 5 first impressions. So stay tuned for that. And that is everything for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.